Let's catch up with Pauline Hanson, now One Nation founder and leader, joining us live from Scenic Rim in Queensland. First up, Pauline, I have to get your thoughts on the Prime Minister's response to these anti-Semitic attacks in Melbourne and Sydney. It all seems to me, as I've made very clear, way too little and way too late.
Chris, you have summed it up perfectly as what I was going to say. I watched his interview this afternoon. I thought it was pathetic. I think it was too little, too late, and something should have been done about it October last year. He's done nothing to rein in the Greens in the Senate who wear that Palestinian shawl, Lydia Thorpe, her outbursts, and Fatima Hayman. They do absolutely nothing to rein them in. I wore a Jewish scarf in the chamber, and I was told to remove it, and otherwise I leave the chamber. So anyway, I left the chamber. But the whole fact is, you're exactly right what you said, and I also said, nice guy, he will not make a leader, and I've been proven right, as you have been. He hasn't got what it takes. He's not a conviction politician. He sits on the fence. He hasn't got good people around him. All his ministers are useless. What he's done here, he's been forced into having a media conference today with the Jewish community of where it's at the moment. They haven't done enough to deal with it. We have, and especially Chris also, bringing people in from the Gaza is the wrong thing to do. You have tensions there. There are tensions between two different religious groups and organisations. The Jewish people have not been responsible for any hatred in this country, but we've allowed, the Prime Minister has allowed, and the premiers, Labor premiers, have allowed for these protest rallies to happen in their streets, in the cities, all over the country, and nothing was done about it. The Jewish people were the ones who were pulled up, told to move on, and the hate preachers, nothing done about it. You were spot on, everything that you said. I totally agree with everything that you said.
Oh, I have a heavy heart about all this, Pauline, because this is why we called it out way back on October the 9th last year, because you could see unless this was stamped out early, it would get worse. Unless this was really ruled out by our political and law enforcement officers, this stuff would gather momentum and fester. And it breaks my heart because so many were calling on governments to do that. They have failed us, and now this stuff is festering to a level that we just could not have imagined in this country. Yep. I do need to move on to something else, because Peter Dutton said something else to my colleague Peter Credlin earlier in the week, where he's going to maintain, if he becomes Prime Minister, the practice he's adopted in opposition, that is standing in front of only one flag, the Australian flag. It seems incredible that such a statement could be controversial in this country, but it is. He's come under all sorts of criticism from the left and from the Labor government. And here's what his Shadow Indigenous Affairs Minister, Jacinta Nampijinpa-Price, has had to say about it.
When Peter and I delivered a press conference on October 14, when the referendum results came in, that is exactly what we did. We stood in front of just the Australian flag because after that result particularly, it was evident to us that the Australian people want a united Australia where we are all represented by one flag.
Jacinta Nampijinpa-Price there. Now, Pauline Hanson, I assume you would agree wholeheartedly with this move. I seem to remember a famous photo of you completely draped in the Australian flag.
I was in 1996, and that's how proud I am of our Australian flag. And Chris, I have said it. I was furious when they brought in the three flags into the chamber, into the Senate. I think it's wrong, and it should not be allowed, three flags. We are one flag, one nation, and one people, and that's how it should be. We are one nation. That's what I've said all along. But the whole fact, it is divisive. And I hope that Peter Dutton does see through with that if he becomes Prime Minister of this country. Get rid of the flags out of the chamber. Unless if you want to put a referendum to the people of Australia, let them have their say on it, whether they want the three flags. But get rid of it on government buildings, and also the rainbow flag. That's another one I am angry about, the rainbow flag as well. So anyway, no, I totally agree.
One flag, yeah. One flag is enough for most countries. It does seem a weird situation. Pauline, thanks for joining us throughout the year. It's been great to have your regular company and insights on the program. We've agreed and we've disagreed, but it's always great to have the discussion. So Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to you, and look forward to catching up in 2025.
Same to you. Thanks, Chris.